מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
We're going to spend about an hour together. Let's become friends.
שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יא ננאי, יא ננאי, ננאי, ננאי. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יא ננאי, 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 ננאי. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יא ננאי, יא ננאי, ננאי, ננאי. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יא ננאי, יא ננאי, ננאי, ננאי.
Shalom and good afternoon, and welcome to Temple Beth Israel. My name is Gary Roebuck, and I'm the rabbi of the synagogue, and I'm joined on the bima today by my friend Ido Sagir. And together, we're a beautiful afternoon Shabbat service honoring Eli on the occasion of his bar mitzvah. Can I have a show of hands? How many of you have never been to Temple Beth Israel before? Wow, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad that you're with us. Yom Shabbat is the heart of each and every Jewish week. The Jewish Sabbath is an opportunity for menucha, for rest, for oneg, for joy, and above all, for peace. And so I would like to invite you to carve out the next hour or so and to dedicate it not only to honoring our bar mitzvah boy and his family, but to finding a kind of shalom within, a bit of peace in what otherwise is, as so many of us know, a week filled with running and doing, never stopping on the devices, on the gadgets, and going all the time. So I'd like to encourage you, if you have a phone, switch it off or put it on stun. And let's use this time for an hour dedicated to our spirituality. Ido just sang so beautifully a song, Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Behold how good it is to be together. So let's follow along in the Siddur, in the prayer book. There's Hebrew and there's English, and there are reflective readings that are sure to grab your attention and to be of interest. So I want to welcome everyone to our historical synagogue, and we hope that you'll enjoy your visit with us very, very much. At this time, I'd like to call Daniel and Lisa, together with Eli, forward to present him with his talit, a symbol of his Jewish responsibilities, and to express something of their pride and their love for their son. Come over here, please. Turn facing your dad and mom. Stand over here, please.
Eli, we're so blessed to have you as our son. We can't wait to watch you reach your milestones, your dreams, your goals?
We're giving you this talit because I wore it on my bar mitzvah and I did such a wonderful job that I'm certain it will give you just as much luck as it gave me.
Okay, say the blessing, please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kolashanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hitaftef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Amen.
Praised is God who has granted new responsibility this day to Eli. As you begin your journey, enjoying a new status among the Jewish people, may God grant you chokhmah, wisdom to continue, and to your parents, may they serve as guides and counselors, allowing you to live in accordance with the teachings of Torah as a responsible Jewish adult. Okay. You can return to your seats. Of course. Of course. So the Minchah, or afternoon service, consists of only a very few short prayers. I'd like to invite you to turn to page 306. And we're going to sing with you from Psalm 150, the words of the last psalm, set to the music of the late Leonard Cohen. And like in Hine Matov, you're going to have a role to play. Don't miss it as it comes by.
Hallelu el bekocho, hallelu birkia uzo, hallelujah, hallelu bigvurotav, hallelu kerov gudlo, hallelujah.
You know the way. Here we go. Hallelujah.
Hallelu בתק השופר, הללו בנבל וכינור, הללויה, הללו בתוף ומחול, הללו במיני ועוגב, הללויה, הללויה.
Boys in the back.
Hallelujah,
Nice.
Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Hallelujah, בצלצל שמע, Hallelujah. כל הנשמה תהלליה, הללויה,
Hallelujah.
הללויה, הללויה, הללויה,
Very nice. It's a beautiful sound in here when everybody's singing. We continue now and ask all who are able to please rise. We resume on page 342 in the blue Sidurim. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah B'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisroel Bagala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'alam Olamei Almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpoar, V'yitromam, V'yitnasei, V'yitadar, V'yitala, V'yitalal, Shemei de Kudesha, Berichu Leila, Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tushebechata V'nechemata, Damiran V'alema, V'yimeru. Amen. On page 345, prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Agadol Agibor v'Anora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Atovim v'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei B'neihem L'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magein, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Vezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayim Itim Atah Rav L'Hoshia, Mashiva Ruach U'Murid HaGeshem, Mazriach HaShemesh U'Murid HaTal, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayim Itim B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech no Eflihim, V'Rofei Cholim U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayim Emunato L'Shenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gvurot U'Mido Melach, Melech Meimit U'Mechayei U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'Nemanat HaLachayot Metim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaMeitim. Dear friends, we continue on page 350.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מעום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני במקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, בדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. On page 352. The last prayer recited by Ido aloud, ending with the words Ha'el HaKadosh on page 350, begins L'dor vador nagid godlecha. Generation after generation will sing your praises. And that's what we celebrate to a great extent here today. The unlikely, the improbable, passing down from generation to generation of the Masorah, the Jewish traditions, customs, and laws that were first revealed to the people of Israel at Har Sinai, at Mount Sinai. One can only imagine ordinarily difficult circumstances in which the Jewish people have lived throughout our history. But at each time, in difficulty as in prosperity, parents have brought their children forward, given them Torah, and presented them to synagogues like ours to celebrate their coming of age. And that's what we do today. I'd like to call upon Eli to get busy here and help us out a little bit as we continue on the middle of page 352.
You are one, and your name is one, and there is none like you, people Israel, a people unique on earth. A garland of glory have you given us, a crown of salvation, a day of rest and holiness. Abraham and Sarah rejoiced in it. Isaac and Rebekah sung. Jacob and Rachel and Leah and their children were refreshed by its rest. A rest of love, freely given, a rest of truth and faithfulness, a rest of peace and serenity, tranquility and security, a perfect rest which you so desire. May your children come to know that sacred rest links them to you, and though they rest, they sanctify your name.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu Ritzei v'imnuchateinu Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha V'tein chelkenu v'toratecha Sabenu mituvecha V'samchenu b'shuatecha V'taher libenu le'avdecha v'emet V'hanech ileinu Adonai Eloheinu b'yava Uv'ratzon Shabbat kodshecha V'yanuchu v'Yisroel mekadeshei shemecha Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Please turn the page as we resume on page 355 in the middle.
On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer to life, to peace and to joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah. Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst for excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer in life, in peace, and in joy. Baruch atah Adonai she'orcha ivecha be'yirach na'avod.
On page 356, I resume with the first 4 lines in Hebrew before turning to the facing page. Modim anachnu lach. She'atahu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu leolam va'ed. Sur chayenu magen yishenu atahu ledor vador.
For the gift of our souls, for the promise of our lives, for all we are and all we might yet become. For the creative seeds sown within our minds, whose nurturing can yield a grand harvest. For all these gifts we thank you, O God, and pray that we prove ourselves worthy. May our lives be ripe with the fruit of compassion, sweetly sustaining those in need. May we use our gifts wisely and with love, true messages of blessing to the world.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimecha, ulecha na'eh lehodot. Outstanding. Can you please take your seat and sit down next to Andrew again? Two old mates of mine, one named Dan Freelander and the other Jeffrey Klepper, composed a piece which is used in the evening service and in the afternoon service on Shabbat, entitled Shalom Rav, which so beautifully expresses the obsession the Jewish people have always had with shalom, with peace. And I invite you to enjoy and to listen, and should you wish to sing along as Ido continues. Shalom Rav appears on page 358.
שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
O God, guard our speech from evil and our lips from deception. Help us to be ever modest, holding our tongue even when people may slander us. Open our hearts to Torah, that we may pursue your mitzvot. As for all who may think poorly of us, cancel their designs and frustrate their schemes. Act for your own sake, for the sake of your power, for the sake of your holiness, for the sake of your Torah, so that your loved ones may be rescued. Save with your power, Hoshia Yaminecha v'aneni, and answer us. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O God, our rock and our redeemer.
אמרי פי הגיון Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali, Vegoali, Ihiu leratzon, Imre fi, Vegion libi, Lefanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali, Vegoali.
Isn't that beautiful? So beautiful. Our B'nai Mitzvah students, like Eli, are given 3 challenges. The first is to learn to read from the Torah by a distinctive Hebrew melody known as trop. And Eli will do a beautiful job in a moment once we open up to the weekly portion, Chayei Sarah. The kids are also encouraged to lead portions of the service from the Siddur, from the Jewish prayer book. And the last, and for many, most difficult challenge is to interpret the content of these ancient texts and to make them relevant somehow to their lives and to the lives of their listeners. It's a really big job. And I'm going to turn over this reader's table now to my young friend, who will introduce us to the portion Chayei Sarah, beginning in chapter 18 of the book of Genesis. Slowly and loudly. Shabbat shalom.
I'd like to speak about my parasha, Chayei Sarah, Hebrew for the life of Sarah. Chayei Sarah is mainly about the death of Abraham's wife Sarah and the way Abraham dealt with the grief of the death of his beloved wife. The parasha also talks about how Abraham went about finding a wife for his much-loved son Isaac by sending out his servant, who like me was named Eliezer. It states that Abraham wanted to find a burial site for Sarah, but when the Hittites, the people whom Abraham was living amongst at the time, saw that Abraham was looking for a burial site to bury Sarah, they offered him the cave of Machpelah as a gift because they saw him as a prince among them. On hearing this offer, Abraham insisted that he shall pay full price for the burial site. Whilst this was happening, Abraham's servant Eliezer went off to the Haran, a village nearby, to find a wife for Abraham's much-loved son, Isaac. While at the well in the village, Eliezer asked God for a sign. Many women came out of their houses and came to the well. Eliezer asked the women if they would like some water. The woman whom would offer the water to the camel would be the maiden to go back to Hebron and be married to Isaac. Out of all the women, only one would offer the camel water. This woman would happen to be Rebekah, the daughter of Abraham's nephew Bethuel. Eliezer invited her back to his home village and told Abraham what happened. Eliezer and Rebekah then walked to the land of Canaan. They then encountered Isaac praying in the field where they would later be married. Isaac then goes on to love Rebekah very much, and Rebekah then goes on to help Isaac mourn his mother's death. Abraham then meets his new wife Keturah and would later on have 6 additional sons, but Isaac is still his only heir. Years later, Abraham dies at the young age of 175 and is buried beside Sarah and his eldest sons Isaac and Ishmael. I thoroughly enjoyed reading my parasha and learning about being a husband and a father and the great responsibilities that both these things bring. Abraham went to great lengths to care for his family, both during and after their lives, to ensure their futures were secure, a notion that I will take with me as I move forward into my own adulthood. What really stood out to me while learning my portion was the kindness that Rebekah showed to the camels. and it was reflective on how she treated people around her, how she treated everyone around her, and why it's important to help people and animals, and do what they are not able to do themselves. Rebecca went out of her way to ensure that not just one, but all the camels' needs like water were met. And it was not as easy as getting water from a tap. She had to go to the well, carry the bucket into the water many times to make sure all the camels stayed hydrated. We all know the quote, as thirsty as a camel. This act of kindness is one of the key factors in the passage, teaching everyone who reads it that what we do for others or do not says a lot about the person you will become.
Thank you. Okay, great. I'd like to ask if Tom would come forward, please. We're going to open the ark, and those of you who are visiting with us for the first time, Tom, if you grab a talit on your way up to the bima, Andrew will show you how to proceed. Those who are visiting for the first time are going to see something truly beautiful as this ark is open to reveal as many 10 Torah scrolls behind. Whenever the ark is opened, it's our custom to show respect to Torah by standing. On page 364.
ויהי בנשוא אהרון ויאמר משה קומה אדוני ויפוצו אויביך וינוסו משונאיך מפניך כי מציון תצא תורה כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה תורה ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
This scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו, גדלו לאדוני איתי, ונרומם שמו יחדיו.
Eli, come this way, please. Can you bring the Torah, Mom, please?
Anochi Adonai Elohecha asher hotzeticha me'eretz Mitzrayim mi-beit avadim. I am the Eternal, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Lo yihi'eh lecha Elohim acharim al panai. You shall have no other gods besides me. Lo tisa et shem Adonai Elohecha lashav. You shall not swear falsely by the name of Adonai, your God. Zachor et yom haShabbat lekadsho. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Kabed et avicha va'et imecha. Honor your father and your mother. Lo tirzach. You shall not murder. Lo tinaf. You shall not commit adultery. Lo tignov. You shall not steal. Lo ta'aneh ve're'acha ed sheker. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Lo tachmod. You shall not covet. Yeah.
All right, come over here, please. I invite you now to give your son the Torah to carry out into the congregation. Right shoulder.
לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד כי כל בשמיים ובארץ לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל ראש. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד. ככל בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל ראש. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד.
Please be seated. So as Eli indicated, we're going to read from the portion.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
ברוך אדוני מבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בחרנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן.
ויהיו חיי שרה 100 שנה ו20 שנה ו7 שנים. שני חיי שרה ותמות שרה בקריית ארבע היא חברון בארץ כנען. ויבוא אברהם לספוד לשרה ולבכותה. ויקום אברהם מעל פני מתו וידבר אל בני חת לאמור גר ותושב אנוכי עמכם תנו לי אחוזת קבר עמכם ואקברה מתי מלפניי.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נתן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן. מי שברך אבותינו ואמותינו הוא יברך את משה בן יונתן ואת יונתן בן אליעזר